What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on these topics. So the first thing I want to discuss is Stephen A. Smith's commentary as it pertains to Serena Williams actually participating at the Super Bowl where she crip walked and things of that nature. And a lot of people thought that it was a good look. A lot of people thought it was a bad look because people felt that she was trying to get back at Drake, which we all are privy to the fact that the two of them used to date, and Drake also used to date SZA, right? But Drake has said some negative things about Serena and her husband in his music. But then there's people on the other side that's saying, hey, she's just representing Compton, and this is what they do out there. You know what I'm saying? So listen, there's a lot of mixed reviews, but Whoopi Goldberg decided to stand on business and go against what Stephen A. Smith had to say about Serena crip walking, because Stephen A. has a very broad opinion about what he would do if he was married to Serena and she decided to crip walk during the halftime show. I want you guys to check out what Stephen had to say about this, and then immediately following his statement, I'm going to play you what Whoopi had to say in her response.
Hold on, no.
That's what he said.
If I'm married and my wife is going to join trolling her ex, go back to his because clearly you don't belong with me. What you worried about him for and you with me?
I gotta get that lick back.
So Serena Williams had a lot of people cheering her halftime show during the Crip Walk during Kendrick Lamar's song, Not Like Us, a diss track aimed at somebody's ex-boyfriend. But ESPN's Stephen A. Smith was not a fan of it.
My husband would be the one cheering me on the loudest. I think it says more about the security of the man and the marriage than it would about that, because even her husband was like, pretty fantastic halftime show. Like, it was awesome. Like,
why wasn't it, damn, Serena was great?
Yeah.
Why is it about some ex-boyfriend she hasn't thought?
Because it wasn't about that. And I'm surprised that Stephen A. Smith actually missed the moment.
He's a provocateur.
Yes.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. So let's take the time to go through some comments about this situation. So this person says he's right. Her current husband should dump her if she's still trying to get back at Drake. Bye-bye. Then someone else says, and that's why his blank ain't married. Then another person chimes in and says, meanwhile, we ignore she does a crip walk, the same gang that deleted her older sister. Some people are just so poorly lost in life. Now that right there is like what my niece say, clock it or whatever she says. And then someone else says, damn, Serena looks good. She was afraid she would quit working out and stuff after tennis, but just the opposite. Then someone else let loose and says, this is mad cringe at the fact it's making its way to the media is a bad look for Serena. Then someone else says, Stephen A. must not know that Drake brought up Serena's husband's name up in a song a few years ago and called him a groupie. Serena clapped back and defended her husband, get the blank over it. Then the last person says, she was dancing because she was criticized for crip walking after winning the 2012 Olympics. You think blank Stephen would know that. Don't think it had much to do with Drake as he thinks it did. So for me, there could be a multitude of things that are true at the same time. But it's hard for me to believe that it didn't cross SZA or Serena's mind that they were sticking it to Drake during their halftime performance. And if I'm being honest, as petty as Kendrick seems to be, running around that stage in those tight bell-bottom, apple-bottom jeans, I'm pretty sure that he orchestrated it the way that he did because of Drake and getting at Drake. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. Now, there could be other reasons that Serena decided to crip walk on the Super Bowl stage, but if you're telling me that it's because she received so much criticism across the pond when she did it, what the hell makes you think that she's not going to face criticism in the United States? Because she is. People are calling it ghetto trash. And then on top of that, let's add insult to injury, right? Because Serena's sister, Yetunde Price, I'm pretty sure I'm botching her first name. I do apologize. May she rest in peace. She was deleted in a drive-by by a guy by the name of Robert Maxfield, who was a Crip. So in my mind, logically speaking, every time Serena Williams crip walks, you might as well just be crip walking on your sister's grave, because that's what you're doing. Because I don't understand, why would you still be crip walking? Listen, I don't care if it was a mistake and she wasn't the target. This is what happened to her. So it really makes me pose this question: was her sister a sacrifice? Because we want to highlight all the messages and the symbolism in Kendrick's performance, while we're not trying to highlight the message and the possible symbolism that Serena could have been sending during her performance crip walking at the Super Bowl, and her sister was taken out by a Crip. Can we just be honest about it? We love Serena. She's the greatest tennis player to ever walk the face of the earth, right? You know, in my opinion, as it pertains to the females. But what I'm saying is, these artists these celebrities, they can be held accountable. Your favorites can be held accountable without people getting mad and wanting to block and delete and say nasty things to you. Can we just be honest for a moment, right? But anyway, let's move along. So that demon, Allison Holker, releases her book disclosing some of Twitch's alleged secrets, saying that he was on DRUGS, and also something new that I didn't know. She's alleging that Twitch was essayed as a young boy by a male. Now, Gayle King sat down with Twitch's mom and Twitch's brother, and they talked about this situation, right? Where they had to sign NDAs just to attend Twitch's funeral. And it was something that Twitch's brother said that really caught my eye, or really caught my ears rather. And I want you guys to take a listen to this clip, because it seems as though that he's alleging that Allison knows more than what she's telling the public and the family about Twitch's passing. And it almost sounds as though like he's trying to say that she could have had something to do with it. I want you guys to take a listen to this soundbite, and then I'll be back.
What did you think we were going to do?
Now, just over 2 years since Stephen's death, a People magazine article has become a new point of contention. It included details from Allison's book about Stephen's marijuana use, and Allison allegedly finding a, quote, cornucopia of other drugs at home he shared with her and their 3 children after Stephen passed. And when you read it for the first time and heard it, what did you think? How did you react?
Immediately it was, oh my God. And then it was, this is going to be out there for the kids to see.
The People article also included details about Stephen's private journals, where Allison says he alluded to being sexually abused as a child.
I guess my thought is, first of all, that was his story to tell.
Were you aware that that was even a possible issue for him? You know, in the People article, she alludes that he may have been, that he seemed to indicate that he had been sexually abused by a male, a trusted male figure in his life.
No.
You were not aware of any of that?
No.
Were you aware of possible sex in his childhood? You knew nothing
that was
about
new. That was
so that was a shock to you to hear that?
Yes. But to use my brother's name and make it seem like he had this serious addiction problem and his allegation, that could have been true. That could have been true, but that isn't. I don't think that's the reason why my brother isn't here today.
You don't? Why do you think your brother isn't here today?
I think that's a question for Allison.
What are you saying, Dre?
I think she knows more than us because she was there. She knows his last known whereabouts. She knows the last conversation they had.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. Now, this part right here has led the internet to start thinking that Allison had to do with something as it pertains to Twitch's passing. A lot of people are saying that maybe she did it herself, you know, and she's trying to cover up her tracks. I'm not going to go to space yet, but it does seem as though that Allison Holker is hiding some information regarding Twitch's passing. But anyway, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that I discussed in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.